$5 a day. That is what they told a whole generation was standing between them and being rich. Skip the latte, they said, and watch $5 turn into $180,000 over 30 years. The math was real. The advice still ruined them. The rules were everywhere. Track every dollar. 50 for needs, 30 for wants, 20 for savings. Cut the small stuff and the rest takes care of itself. It sounded like discipline. It felt like a plan. Millions of people followed it faithfully for 30 years. And here is the cruel part. The coffee math is not a lie. $5 a day really is $1,800 a year. Invested, it really does grow into six figures. Psychologists call this the focusing illusion. You lock onto the one cost you can see and go completely blind to the ones you cannot. So a careful generation watched the cup. They tracked it. They felt in control. But while their eyes stayed fixed on $5, a far larger number was moving across the room, quietly, every single year. And nobody ever told them to turn around and look at it. That number was a house. In the 1970s, a typical home cost about 2 times a typical income. Today it costs almost 5 times. The saver was guarding loose change while the price of an ordinary life more than doubled away from them. So yes, the latte trick worked. $180,000 exactly as promised. The trouble is that it was running a race nobody had warned them about, and it was losing badly. To understand why, you first have to see the race itself. The race was simple: saving against owning. The real loss was never the $5 you spent on coffee. It was the dollar that sat, dead in a checking account instead of buying a piece of something that grows. That is the cost the gospel never once printed. Watch what owning early actually does. 2 savers. The first puts away $200 a month for 10 years, then stops forever. Total paid in, $24,000. The second waits, then saves the same $200 a month for 30 straight years. Total paid in, $72,000. 3 times the money for the second saver. And yet at retirement they finish in almost a dead heat, with the early saver often slightly ahead. Same finish line. 1/3 of the fuel. The engine was never thrift. The engine was time, and the first saver simply handed it more room to run. Now bring in the wages. Median household income today sits near $83,000, barely above where it sat years ago once you adjust for inflation. Income stood still. Asset prices sprinted. The saver was running hard on a treadmill that kept speeding up beneath their feet. Behavior locked the trap shut. Loss aversion makes you feel every skipped coffee, sharp and immediate. You never feel the ownership you failed to buy because absence is invisible. And the constant work of tightening a budget quietly eats the attention you needed for the one move that actually mattered. So measure the hero one more time. $180,000 from a lifetime of skipped lattes. A single median home gained more than that just by sitting still through the same years. The coffee was never the villain. The coffee was a magic trick that kept your eyes off the real machine. Here is the machine. When new money enters the economy, it reaches the people who already hold assets first, and the people who only earn wages last. Economists call it the Cantillon effect. Own the assets, and you ride the wave early. Only earn and save, and you stand on the shore waiting for water that always shows up late. This is the two-cost principle. Every dollar carries 2 prices: what it costs you to spend it, and what it costs you to never own anything with it. The budgeting gospel counted that first price down to the penny and quietly pretended the second price did not exist. So the real question was never how little can you spend. It was how early can you own, and how long can you leave it untouched. Remember the 2 savers. $24,000 started early beat. $72,000 started late. Early ownership beats heroic self-denial almost every single time. The reason almost nobody acted on this has a name: present bias. Owning later feels fine because later does not feel real yet. Spending now feels urgent because now is the only moment the brain truly believes in. The entire budgeting culture fed that urgency instead of ever curing it. To be fair, frugality is not useless. It is simply the smallest gear in the machine, never the engine. A whole generation polished that one tiny gear with genuine devotion. They tracked every dollar. They skipped every latte. And they never once noticed the engine sitting cold and silent right beside them. This is not financial advice. This is mechanism-level analysis. The budgeting advice that destroyed a generation was never wrong about the coffee. It was wrong about which number decides your life. They spent 30 years guarding $5. The 400,000 walked straight past them.